Today, I'm going to show you exactly what frog eating means, why it works so powerfully for entrepreneurs, and how to implement it starting tomorrow morning. By the end of this episode, you'll have a system that eliminates procrastination and builds unstoppable momentum. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Confident Alchemist podcast, where bold women take the brave leap to build businesses and lives that they deserve. I'm Debbie, and today I'm going to share with you a productivity method that can completely transform how you approach your entrepreneurial journey. We are talking about eating the frog. I know, I haven't lost my mind. This is Brian Tracy's legendary productivity principle that separates successful entrepreneurs from those who stay stuck in endless busy work. Here's what I see what's happening with so many women I work with who want to leave corporate. They have brilliant business ideas. They know what they need to do, but they spend their days doing everything except the one thing that will actually move their business forward. They'll reorganize their desk, research competitors for hours, perfect their logo, update their LinkedIn profile, anything to avoid the big, scary, important task that actually requires courage. But what if I told you that by doing one simple thing every morning, eating your frog, you can build more momentum in 30 days than most people build in 6 months? When I discovered this method, it changed everything. I went from being a chronic procrastinator who had great ideas but terrible execution to someone who constantly tackles the hardest, most important task first. And that shift, that allowed me to build the successful coaching business that I have. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what frog eating means, why it works so powerfully for entrepreneurs, and how to implement it starting tomorrow morning. By the end of this episode, you'll have a system that eliminates procrastination and builds unstoppable momentum. So let's dive into why eating frogs might be the most important business skill you never learned. So let me start by explaining what Brian Tracy means by eating the frog. Your frog is your biggest, most important, most challenging task of the day. It's the one thing that, if you completed it, it would have the greatest impact in your life and business. For most women building businesses, your frog is usually one of these: making sales calls to potential clients, writing that blog post you've been putting off for weeks, having the difficult conversations with your boss about reducing your hours, recording that video for your website, launching that course that you've been perfecting for months. Here's why we avoid our frogs. They are usually uncomfortable, uncertain, or require us to be vulnerable. They force us to step outside our comfort zone and risk failure or rejection. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So when we look at our to-do list, we naturally gravitate towards the easy, familiar tasks that gives us quick dopamine hits. Checking emails feels productive. Organizing files feels important. But these activities are what I call productive procrastination. They keep us busy but don't move us forward. Here's what happens when you constantly avoid your frog. The tasks get bigger and scarier in your mind. You start feeling guilty and overwhelmed. Your confidence erodes because you're not keeping your promise to yourself. And meanwhile, your business stays stuck because you're not doing the high-impact activities that create results. For women transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship, this is especially dangerous. In corporate, someone else sets your priorities. Your boss tells you what is urgent. But as an entrepreneur, you have to identify and tackle your most important tasks. If you can't eat your own frog, you'll never build a successful business. This is why Tracy emphasizes eating your frog first thing in the morning. You have the most energy, the fewest distractions, and the strongest willpower. Plus, once you've accomplished your most challenging task, everything else feels easy by comparison. But here's the real magic. Every time you eat your frog, you build evidence that you can do hard things. You prove to yourself that you are someone that follows through. This creates a confidence compound effect that transforms how you show up in every area of your business. When I was building my coaching business, my daily frog was usually client outreach. I hated making those calls, sending those emails, putting myself out there for potential rejection. But I committed to eating that frog every morning before I did anything else. Within 90 days, I had my first paying client. Not because I was more talented than other coaches, but because I was willing to do the uncomfortable work consistently. Now, let me give you the exact system I use and teach my clients for implementing the frog eating method. This isn't just about willpower. It's about creating a system that makes success inevitable. Every evening, before you finish work, identify tomorrow's frog. Write it down. Be specific. Instead of work on website, write the about page copy for my website. Instead of marketing, write send 10 personalized LinkedIn messages to potential clients. Your frog should be clear enough that you know exactly what done looks like. Vague frogs lead to vague results. Specific frogs lead to specific accomplishments. Here's your morning sequence. Wake up, handle your basic needs and ablutions, bathroom, coffee, if you need it. Do your morning routine, and immediately after that, tackle your frog. No email, no social media, no news, no exceptions. If your frog feels overwhelming, use what I use, the 25-5 rule. Work on your frog for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Often, you'll find that starting is the hardest part, and you want to continue beyond the 25 minutes. When you finish your frog, celebrate. This isn't optional. Your brain needs to associate completing difficult tasks with positive feelings. Do a little dance. Treat yourself to your favorite coffee, or simply acknowledge your accomplishment out loud. Here's what happens after you eat your frog. You feel accomplished, confident, and energized. This positive state makes you more productive for the rest of the day. You've already won the day before most people have even started working. Some days, you'll resist eating your frog. Your brain will offer you 1,000 reasons why you should do something else first. This is normal. The key is to recognize this resistance as a sign that you have identified the right frog. The only exception to eating your frog first is when you have a task that takes less than 2 minutes and is blocking your frog. For example, if you need to send a quick email to get information for your frog task, do that first. But be honest about what is truly necessary versus what is avoidance. As you get better at eating frogs, your frogs will evolve. What feels impossible today will feel routine in a month. This is how you build entrepreneurial courage, one frog at a time. Every Friday, review your week. Which frogs did you eat? Which ones did you avoid? What pattern do you actually notice? This reflection helps you refine your frog eating practice and identify areas for improvement. Now, let's talk about advanced frog eating strategy, especially for women building businesses. As an entrepreneur, your frog should usually be revenue generating activities, client outreach, sales calls, product creation, marketing. These are the frogs that actually build businesses. Administrative tasks, while necessary, shouldn't be your morning frog. Here's a powerful principle. The task you're most afraid to do is usually the one you most need to do. If the thought of making sales calls terrifies you, that is probably your frog. If you're avoiding launching your course because it might not be perfect, that's your frog. Different seasons of your business requires different types of frog eating. In the beginning, your frogs are usually building awareness, getting your first clients. As you grow, your frogs might be about assistance, team building, or strategic partnerships. Match your frogs to your energy type. If you're a morning person, tackle an analytical frog early. If you're more creative in the afternoon, save creative frogs for then. But remember, the most important frog still gets eaten first, regardless of energy preferences. Consider sharing your daily frogs with an accountability partner. Knowing someone will ask you about your progress makes you more likely to follow through. This is especially powerful for women who are naturally people's pleasers. Use that tendency in your advantage. Here's the beautiful thing about consistent frog eating. Small daily actions compound into massive results. Making 5 sales calls a day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that is 1,300 potential client calls. Writing for 30 minutes a day creates multiple blog posts, courses, and even books. But the real transformation isn't just in your business. It's in your identity. You stop being somebody who procrastinates and start being someone who takes action. You stop being someone who avoids difficult conversations and start being someone who tackles challenges head on. This confidence ripples into every area of your life. You become more decisive, more courageous, more willing to take calculated risks. These are the qualities that separate successful entrepreneurs from those who stay stuck in dreaming phase. Beautiful souls, I want you to understand something. The difference between a woman who's transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship and those who stay stuck isn't talent, luck, or connections. It's the willingness to persistently do the hard things that move you forward. Eating your frog every morning is a commitment to yourself. It's a declaration that your dreams are worth more than your comfort zone. It's proof that you're serious about building a business and the life that you deserve. Here's what will happen if you commit to eating your frog for the next 30 days. You'll build momentum you've never experienced before. You'll develop confidence in the abilities to follow through. You'll make more progress towards entrepreneurial goals than you have in the past 6 months. Your frog eating journey starts today. Before you go to bed, identify tomorrow's frog. Write it down. Be specific. Then tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, eat that frog. Remember, every successful entrepreneur was once where you are now, looking at that big scary goal and wondering if they have what it takes. The difference is that they started eating their frogs, one frog at a time, until those impossible dreams became an inevitable reality. I want to hear about your frog eating journey. Send me a message and tell me what your first frog is going to be. Share your wins, your struggles, your breakthroughs. Let's build a community of frog-eating entrepreneurs who refuses to let procrastination steal their dreams. Your business is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. Your clients are waiting for you to be brave enough to reach out. Your dreams are waiting for you to stop preparing and start performing. The frog is on your plate. The question is, are you hungry enough to eat it? Once again, thank you for listening. See you next week for another dose of truth, boldness, and transformation.